So now we're going to go to this exciting thing. We're going to present the awards for the finishers of the Defense Innovation Challenge. And that's really, you know, a great thing to do, because the agency, together with ACT, again this year has asked for nominations for great ideas in certain categories. And the categories are related to capability that NATO needs in the coming year or years. We got 43 proposals from, actually 48 proposals from 12 countries. And you know, mainly from small, medium business enterprise and academia. It's, we went through a process of you know, understanding and rating the different proposals, and what I'm glad to be able to do today is announce 10 winners. So how are we going to do that? It's quite simple. We got those chairs out of the way, because I want everybody here at the stage. We start with, you know, I announce the company that wins and the subject. They come forward, get an award, and you know, stand here, because I want to have the whole team at the end together, so that we can make a group photo for this this event. Let's start with the first proposal, and that's coming. I do it in alphabetical order. It's coming from Aditerna GmbH from Germany. Aditerna SRP, the first online platform to share and execute models and simulations as a service. And this is from the focus area, rapid deployability and scalable IT infrastructure. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Well done.
Thank you.
It's, perhaps you can stand there. The second company I was told was not here, but so I will mention it anyway. And if you're here, then you can come forward, of course. But Alessandro Busacci, Cranfield University of the United Kingdom, and Babcock International. And the proposal was optimizing applications of additive manufacturing in defense support services. The focus area, rapid deployable and scalable IT infrastructure. Not here. The next one from Denmark, Crypt. Dynamic encryption for protecting smartphones conversations, which is called Crypt Talk, and data links, which is Crypt Core. And the focus area, again, is rapid deployable, scalable IT infrastructure. Very well done. Good. From the Netherlands, iDelft BV, scalable e-procurement portal framework in the focus area, e-procurement services. Congratulations. And now I have two from Canada, which is very good. Laris Technologies Corporation, Total Insight Decision Support System from the focus area Service Management Automation and Analytics.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Again from Canada, in the category e-procurement services, from OMX Offset Market Exchange Incorporated Canada, e-procurement, industrial-based data and economic impact analytics. Congratulations. Then from the United Kingdom, Oxford Biometrics. You know, that's difficult to pronounce in one time for a Dutch guy. Advanced detection of falsely authenticated users via autonomous and remote access Trojans in the area cybersecurity, sensors, analytics, and visualization. Congratulations. Then Norway, Radio Nor Communications. Radio system based on phased array smart antenna technology. In the focus area, long-range wireless communications, resilient terrestrial long-range and rapid deployable scalable IT infrastructure.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You need to move a little bit. 2 to go. From Denmark, Saab Denmark. Tactical multi-level secure voice for enhanced interoperability. In the focus area, secure voice interoperability between multiple security classification levels. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And on the last one from the United States, Spy Cloud. Protecting NATO from use of non-public breach credentials. Focus area, cloud security and service management, automation and analytics. Well done. Thank you. So we will make a group photo, but I first would like to share with you that all of the winners will have the opportunity to present their solution to you in a short pitch that we will plan today and tomorrow during here in the main conference room. But secondly, they all have a stand, most of them have a stand in the area there. It's directly around the corner, this long table where they're sitting, and you can go see them and talk about their solutions. And we have very good experience last year with the winners of last year, who all got pretty attractive as a partner for other industries in order to work together. And I really appreciate you also visiting them and learning, what I've been doing for us, for NATO, and for the nations. Let me stand in the middle somewhere. Oh, sorry. And a big round of applause. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you so much.
Very good. Very good.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as the General Manager has announced, 3 of the 10 winners will present their project now, and we will start with Larus Technologies. Stage is yours.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks again to the NCIA for the award. So my name is Rami Abilmona. I'm VP of Research and Engineering at Larus Technologies, and I'll give you a brief about Total Insight, which is our product today. It's a decision support system. So Larus was established in 1995. It's a Canadian company. It's a research and engineering company that focuses on big data and predictive analytics and decision support software as it pertains to national public security and safety systems, domain awareness, kind of all domains, sea, land, air, and cyber, and C2, C3, C4 ISR systems. This was the latest award in 2017. Last year we were recognized here in Canada for a very similar award for taking something out of the lab really and making it a commercial product. In 2015, 2 years ago, we were recognized by the IEEE's Computational Intelligence Society for being the outstanding organization worldwide. So our product is called Total Insight. It's a decision support system patented in the US in 2013, launched soon after here in CANSEC, May or June of that year. The tagline really is protects lives and critical assets by producing the highest quality information possible for operators and decision makers. So as you know, major challenges exist with information handling and data processing. a famous quote by General Deptrell out of the US was swimming in sensors and drowning in data, and that was in 2010, so 7 years ago. As you know, the big data problem, whether you call it 6V, 7V vector kind of problem, exhibits large volume, large velocity, large variety, large veracity, and so on and so forth. Data is becoming more complex, is coming at us much faster, and there's lots of competitive solutions out there. A lot of them are rule-based systems that require re-engineering or for them to be taken down and changed because it's pre-coded logic. Once the premises change, the problem premises change, then the environment has to change and the solution has to. We've created a completely proactive, adaptive, big data analytics, machine learning based system that allows you to do this completely in real time. So this is kind of our data flow architecture through Total Insight. It follows kind of the JDL DFIG models, if you're familiar with those in kind of the data fusion world, going up from layer 0 all the way to layer 3 and 4. 0 and 1 is kind of when you do contacts and tracks. We ingest those through feature extraction layers that are customized adapters that are built out of layers. We can ingest all kinds of data, whether it be hard data, you could see there on the bottom left. So these are kind of structured data sources, full motion video, AIS, radar, EO, and other data sources, and soft data sources, unstructured and semi-structured, textual type data sources, social media type data sources. Layer 2 does situational assessment, so we do all kinds of things, classification, identification, anomaly detection, tracking, intent, capability, threat assessment, and all within sub-second processing. Move up to layer 3 where we play out kind of what-if scenarios, kind of a gaming type environment where we actually present courses of actions and recommend them to the operators in real time. And then layer 4 does the learning so that we can actually do this process over and over again much quicker in a more refined fashion. This is a Java middleware engine. We don't own any of the data sources. We don't own any visualizers. We are kind of the intelligence layer in between the two. These are kind of our present capabilities. We're at release 3.3, I believe. So on the left there, as you can see, I think we have 27 anomaly detectors in the system already. Things like dark target, invisible target, loitering, significant change of state, not heading to destination, unusual course shape, and so on and so forth. And all the decision support capabilities on the right side, whether it be correlation or classification, capability, risk, threat assessment, and obviously the higher level layers, be it course of action recommendation, impact assessment, and mission planning really in a resource management fashion. So again, we don't have a lot of time. You can visit us at our booth. I just put up a few examples from the different layers so we can do real-time correlation, i.e. fusion or association. It's a very misused term in the industry, but we can bring in all kinds of track-based information, whether it be GPS, GMTI, or VMTI now, HFSWR, the high-frequency surface wave radar, synthetic aperture radar, MSIS, AIS, and so on and so forth. Correlate and fuse all these data sources so that we can provide a refined picture, refined situational picture, with machine learning, garbage in, garbage out. So we really want to clean up and fuse all these informations before we actually feed them into the higher layers. There is a video there, but I don't want to really waste your time figuring out how to play it. But there's an actual rendezvous that happened off the west coast of Canada and US. Kind of two US fishing vessels getting together. And that's fine as long as they're licensed to do so. So there's lots of licensing for bunkering and trawlers and different fishing vessels getting together. So that's kind of a layer 2 capability. Layer 3, we have a risk management framework that allows us in real time, again, to process all kinds of possibilities. We're talking about billions of possibilities. Bring in all your different assets, bring in all the different objectives for the subject matter experts, and bring in all the different data, and you've got a billion solution type space. We can do that very, very quickly and provide 10, 15, 20 completely parameterizable type of courses of actions that are feasible, fully interpretable, and do the job based on the training that we've put into the system. And it's an adaptive system, so it continuously trains based on our machine learning algorithms. Layer 4 is when you kind of start doing kind of mission planning. Instead of playing out what if scenarios, now we're trying to recommend things so that if we see that there's a lot of kind of interdictions or drug runs that are happening in a particular location or anomalies that are being firing in a particular space-time continuum, we can actually pre-position or suggest the pre-positioning and mission planning of certain assets to deter that. This was a D&D actual deployment where we actually generated 15 machine learned mission plans within a couple of seconds. This used to take them about 3 days to do. So in a nutshell, Total Insight is a decision support system. It sifts through massive amounts of multi-type, multi-source data. It learns the underlying trends, the patterns of life, if you want. Predicts future behavior. It's a completely predictive analytic-based engine. Unmasks the targets that would ordinarily be left undiscovered, and effectively reduces really the operator, in this case the NATO operator's workspace noise and clutter. We're not CGB restricted. We're not ITAR controlled. We're fully exportable, sold into 3 different continents and deployed on a massive scale run-of-the-mill, whether cloud-based or enterprise fashion. We're at booth number 4, and I thank you for your time today.
Thanks a lot. We are fully aware how challenging it is to, in 5 minutes, to present a great product and an innovation challenge prize. Second company today is Oxford Biometrics, and I would appreciate if you could take the scene. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Adrian Neal. I'm from Oxford Biometrics. I was the founder of the company. First of all, thank you very much. I'm very, very honored to receive this. Thank you. The company was founded by myself and the University of Oxford and was a spin-out from the university. Essentially, we developed a technology that differentiates between humans and bots on the internet. Fairly straightforward. The technology is considerably more advanced than what's currently out there. We've deployed it into the advertising world, where advertising has a bit of a problem with fraudulent views and adverts. So many companies are paying a lot of money for bots to view adverts, and this currently stands at about $7 billion problem. The history of the technology goes back to online banking many years ago, when we started to first see the emergence of something called the remote access Trojan, and it was deployed to steal from bank accounts. As I think Tony pretty much explained earlier, things have now moved on, and that same technology is being used to break into various organizations and go far more just beyond stealing from the odd bank account. It was used a few months ago to try and steal, I think, $88 million from the Bank of Bangladesh, and was only just stopped virtually in the nick of time. But this technology is now being deployed everywhere. Every major attack is based upon this particular type of technology, the remote access Trojan. And what we have done, we've developed a product called Maelstrom, which effectively, as it says, it detects and disrupts the Trojan in real time. One of the problems is that, again, Tony mentioned this earlier, that these kind of viruses are virtually undetectable at the moment. They bypass the perimeter security, they bypass the anti-malware, antivirus software on the devices, and they bypass two-factor authentication. In fact, they usually wait for you to authenticate with your multi-factor authentication into a system, and once you're in, that's when they get to work. That's the point at which we detect them. The moment they bypass that security, they start attacking a system in parallel with the authorized user when they are logging into a system. Is this point, which is very, very hard to see, is what essentially 4 years of research has allowed us to determine the properties that the remote access Trojan displays when it's doing this. So we detect in real time during an attack, and we also have a disruption software that essentially stops the attack. Tony was talking earlier about a 10-minute window for detection and reporting. We're trying to get that to a real-time window, as in the moment it occurs, you know. I've written a white paper for this. It's quite complex, and I've tried to write it as straightforward as possible. Please see me next door and take a read of it. It is actually quite interesting, and a fairly serious piece of software. I think it has a lot of value within the military and defense environment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The third presentation, and please allow me to repeat, all the award challenge winner are having a stand in the exhibition. Use the time to go a bit more in detail if you are interested. Great stuff. The third and last company for today, the others will present tomorrow, is Crypt. Please.
First of all, a warm thank you for the honor of having this. What an opportunity to speak to you. And do I start the timer using this? I don't see the...
You see the time below, sir, and you can... The clicker is only for slides. If you
Good. I didn't bring any slides, but I brought some good old-fashioned paper with some notes on it. I'm going to tell you about two things today. Crypt is a small company, 10 people strong, out of Copenhagen, Denmark. And we work with technology based on dynamic encryption, which is one of the things that I would like to tell you about. The other one is how we protect mobile communication for smartphones. And smartphones were invented some years ago, and they have been a tremendous success. Now, most people really don't want to carry more than one phone in their pocket. Back in the day, well, you could have a crypto phone in one pocket, and then you would have your smartphone or your Nokia in the other. And we saw that both Angela Merkel, Hillary Clinton, they were both equipped with very strong encryption phones, but they were actually using their smartphones. And nobody wants to have these two devices at one time. So the issue today is now that people tend to use the smartphone the most. So too much is being said over the smartphone. Perhaps you are aware that earlier this month in Ottawa, an infrastructure for mass interception of mobile phone conversation and messaging was revealed. And Ottawa is not the first place. This has happened in Oslo, it has happened in DC and in London previously. So you can now safely assume that all your conversations based on the telcos, networks and your smartphones are being intercepted during this conference. I would take that as a safe bet. So we need to do something about it. We talk in the phones because they're convenient, they're user-friendly, and we love them. And we always keep them in our pockets. So this is the preferred means of communication. Crypt has built a system called Crypt Communication Solution, which consists of a server system and an app for your smartphone. Simple as that. Now you can use your smartphone for secure communication through all these networks around the world that may or may not be intercepted. The communication will be encrypted from one phone to the other, regardless of which network it passes through. The server system manages the phone book on your system, so you do that centrally within the organization. You can have the server system running internally, locally in your data center, and now you have full control of the phone book, the call groups, who can call who, and reflect, the organizational hierarchy within your organization. So not everyone can call everyone. Maybe the general can call everyone, and not everyone the general, and so forth. The app is so simple that my mother is using it, and it's integrated into the phone system. It's very neat. There are only two buttons, one for chat and one for conversations. And now this will be certified, common criteria certified later this year. And the Danish Defense are testing. They have 800 of these running at the moment in test. And when the certification will get in place, we will have the accreditation for NATO restricted. And now you can roll out with the ease of an app on an iPhone, which was chosen by the Danish Defense, just like NATO headquarters chose the iPhone. You can roll out to thousands now easily an app, and by that secure conversations, regardless of where it takes place. We have the patent for dynamic encryption, and it's super simple. Don't get scared when you hear the word encryption. We take the advanced encryption standard, which is the most secure thing you can find. We keep that in the middle, and then we have added a mutating layer around that. For each conversation, a new encryption system is generated, passed on to the receiver, and then we use this for only one conversation, and then we drop it. Then the other party will call me, create a new encryption system, hand it over to me, we will use it for one conversation, and then we'll drop it. So we just build and throw away encryption systems, which makes it impossible to do crypt analysis where you suck up large amounts of data for analysis purposes. because now the encryption methodology is changing over time. It's super simple and it's non-standard, but we keep the standard AES-256 or any other national encryption scheme at the core here. So now we just wrap it, we make it confusing for the adversaries, and then we can build this into other systems. You can expect that this will be built into satellite systems. You send up a command to a satellite, you create a system, send up the command. A week later, the sensor data comes back, the satellite creates a new system and beams down the data. So you actually have a new encryption system per data transaction. So with this, I've told you about dynamic encryption. We call the concept DenCrypt Core, and we have DenCrypt Communication Solution, which is trying to get a hold of the security with these ones, the smartphones that you all carry around, at least one in your pockets, but in many cases always also two, but we want to keep that down to one. So thank you very much for the attention, and thank you very much for the honor.